Alright, guys, I wanted to do another movie news. I haven't done one of these in a while, but we had some major news dropped out of the entertainment industry today, or I guess tomorrow, something like that, whatever. Um, and I wanted to talk about something else that I was pretty, disgusted by, but let's talk about the big news first. Amazon bought all the film rights and TV rights to MGM's library of content. Now, what does this mean exactly? It's a lot of content. Now, I'm confused on what this means exactly. I get why Amazon wanted MGM. First of all, MGM's not a big name, but MGM, if you haven't noticed that this has been going on, essentially, Amazon is trying to work with Michael B. Jordan. They love Michael B. Jordan. Without Remorse was big on their platform. They advertised the hell out of it. They are trying to get Michael B. Jordan on their platform. And what franchise is Michael B. Jordan very heavy in that they want to get money out of? Rocky. And I think Amazon is saying, hey, theaters are not doing so hot. They're not exactly going away, but they're not doing so hot. And we could get a lot of library of content here. So you're going to have a lot of movies on there, like Platoon, Weekend at Bernie's, just random movies on there. But you're also probably going to see all the Rocky movies come on there from now on. Now, I don't know what this means for James Bond. Because James Bond is owned by MGM, but it's also licensed by, I believe, Sony or something like that. So, it could go either way, I think, but my guess is that No Time to Die is not coming out. It is going to streaming. It is going to Amazon. I think part of this deal was to get all the James Bond rights. And I think that's the dealio. I think you're going to hear within the next month or so, hey, James Bond is coming to Amazon Prime in September or August or whatever, and you're going to see the new James Bond movie premiere on there. You're going to see all the James Bond movies going forward premiere on there. Now, this was a great move from Amazon to buy all these film rights because they can actually do stuff with them. It also gives them something that Amazon and Netflix both don't have, which is that they do not have what we call, in the industry, we call them, we call it back catalog. Or not back catalog, but it is back catalog, but there's a different word. I'm trying to think of the word. But essentially, when you want to market Disney Plus, what do you think of? The Lion King. You think of Pixar movies. You think of Star Wars. You think of Marvel, right? The word's IP. That's the word I was looking for. You think of their IPs, the things that they own that you can't get anywhere else, and that's what they advertise. Now, of course, Netflix and Amazon Prime have exclusive content. But when you think about what you watch on Amazon Prime, do you watch Netflix originals or Amazon Prime originals over and over again, or do you just watch them when they come out? That's the big question there. And of course, there are some who say, well, I should watch stuff like Stranger Things over and over again. Yeah, but those are the big heavy hitters. You don't really watch too much else over and over again. So essentially what you have is when you see a trailer for Amazon Prime, it might be for a new show, or it might just be a trailer saying, look, get Amazon Prime. There's all this different stuff on here. But they can't advertise what they have because they don't own anything on their platform except their original content, which is new stuff. So it's yet to build up an IP status, essentially. So these companies are looking for a way to create IP and sell their service because, yes, they're doing okay without IP, but it's also how much better is to say, hey, Lord of the Rings is now exclusive to Amazon? How much better is it to say Rocky's now exclusive to Amazon? This is a big deal. I think you're going to see Netflix probably either end up buying a company like Sony, or they're going to end up buying some other companies where they might even buy Sony's animation division. I could see Netflix buying a company. If you want my guess on what company Netflix is going to buy, I would say Lionsgate. It seems like Sony is in a good spot right now. They're licensing out to all these different places, and they're happy doing that. Lionsgate, however, is not. the new Saw movie failed, and the fact is, Lionsgate doesn't have properties, so they are at a desperate search for properties. We are getting Hunger Games prequels. Now, there's not prequels books at all, but we're getting Hunger Games prequels. They are at a desperate reach for franchises. We saw that with the new Saw movie. We saw that with the Hunger Games prequels being announced. We saw that with the Hellboy. Sorry, I already mentioned Hellboy, or Hellboy. Yeah, Hellboy reboot. We saw all this go on, and they don't have very many IPs. And Knives Out was a big hit for them, but the issue with Knives Out was that Knives Out is now a franchise with Netflix. And that was because that is a property that Rian Johnson owns the rights to. He can just sell it to different places. So that's what he did. He sold it to Netflix, and he's happy working with them and doing what he's doing. So they lost out on that great franchise that could be gangbusters for them, because Knives Out is super successful. It sells super well on home media. It does great on streaming. It was on Amazon Prime forever. Huge on Amazon Prime. And with all that going on, this is a big deal. So this is what we're looking at with all this going on. That's what we're dealing with. So I want to see what this means. We don't exactly know what this means. And then, actually, there's a couple big news stories. So let me talk about the next big news story. AT&T broke off from Warner Brothers. Now, if you don't know what the significance of this is essentially a few years ago, AT&T and Warner Brothers came to a merger. Now, this was supposed to happen in 2016, but it did not happen in 2016. And this was also going to be the year HBO Max dropped. But why this didn't happen was this. Trump was against Cartoon Network. Now, for what reason, it's very unclear. If my guess, it would have to be the fact that they have a lot of cartoons that appeal to LGBTQs, and he probably is somewhat against those. That's my speculation. I'm not really sure. But essentially, he did not like Cartoon Network, and so he decided to coerce his administration into holding this merger up, and then eventually he lost power to do so. So the merger finally came together, and AT&T was in millions of dollars of debt. So was Warner Brothers. So it was like millions and millions of dollars, and it was billions of dollars in debt working together with billions of dollars of debt. It was kind of a weird thing, but they built HBO Max together. They did all this. That was their plan, and I think AT&T was not happy with their partnership with Warner Brothers. You could kind of see that these companies were not working together so well. Like, a lot of their decision making didn't make too much sense, and it was a lot to deal with. But they're trying to figure it out and make everything work. So I think these companies just need to figure out their shit. Because I'm a subscriber to HBO Max, and let me tell you right now, I love HBO Max for the day and date movie thing. But that's all I use them for. Now, of course, I watch stuff like Close Enough. I've talked about Distant Lands. But let me tell you right now, those are one-time watches. These aren't things I'm coming back to watch. So there's a long gap in between one time I use the service and the next time I use the service until a new movie comes out. Now, they're not doing that in 2022. So, you need to step up your content range, because I like some of the stuff we're getting on there, but we're not getting too many exclusive things people are talking about. And it's really hurting them because they're a fantastic service. They have a great library of content. I watch a lot of library content, but the other problem is I don't watch new content. They lowered their price point, which is good. They're getting in new subscribers. They're working on stuff, and that's great. But, I think the longer these companies don't know what they're doing and can't make up their minds, the holdup it is on these services becoming better, making better content for the consumers. And it's getting very irritating, and it's unfortunate. Next thing I want to talk about is I didn't think I was ever going to talk about this, but wow, this shit happened. Essentially, the CW had announced a long time ago that they were rebooting the Powerpuff Girls in live action. I was never going to talk about it. I was just going to ignore this thing existed. But then something interesting happened. Now, the pilot script was leaked weeks ago, but it came out a couple days ago that the pilot was so bad that the CW said, no thank you, we're passing on this. Now, they didn't cancel the show, but they did say they're reshooting the pilot. Now, this is the company that makes Riverdale. This is that company. They make a lot of garbage television. And, I know there are fans of Riverdale and stuff like that. Not harping on you guys. I'm just saying that this is a company that is known for making content that isn't the best, but it appeals to a certain group of people, and that's why it's made. It's cheap. With bad acting and bad scripts and all that, it's not good content. Just flat out. Riverdale's not a good show. Don't at me. But and I thought, what? That's crazy. And then the pilot script leaked online. I'm not going to go over the script. Now, there's a lot of speculation on whether or not the script is fake, but flat out, I think it's totally real. Because the first person to post this on Twitter got a DMCR claim, or a copyright claim or whatever. And that doesn't happen unless it's actually copyrighted material. You can't sometimes there's unjustifiable copyright claims, but it's harder to do that on Twitter. So, yes, this was something that is most likely real. But you still should take it with a grain of salt, but I am very confident that this thing is real. And I read the script. This is a garbage script. Essentially, this is the Powerpuff Girls are early 20-year-olds. Now, that was kind of okay, but this is a kind of gross. It's very overly sexualized. There's literally in the script at one point, one of the girls threatens to leak another one's nudes. And it's weird because this would be weird if it was some other attached property that was nothing like this before. But Powerpuff Girls, they were 5 and in kindergarten. Right? That was their original portrayal. The new one, we don't even talk about that new reboot, but that was the original portrayal of the Powerpuff Girls. That's the one most people are aware of. That's the one that most people have seen and know about. So, when you say, hey, these people are now, one's a lesbian kind of slut out, the first introduction to the girls in the episode is them getting hungover at 17 and then one cheating on their girlfriend. This is that's just a weird thing for something that's based on a kid's cartoon where the main characters were 5. I would be less disgusted if Batwoman was doing this or Supergirl was doing this. I still wouldn't like it. I would think it's terrible. But, the fact that this is gross and sickening. Just how overly sexualized it is. The weird changes to what these characters are. How bad the professor is made in the script. And the fact that they went with such a strange angle where, they're teenage pop star, or not teenage pop stars, but essentially they're child actors that are superheroes in a sense. And that's just a gross and weird thing to do with characters, again, who were 5 in the original. And I can't get behind this series. No one should no one no one should have approved the script in the first place, but it got approved. And the interesting thing about this script, it was approved since February. So they didn't shoot. So the fact that there was no red flags for what this kind of script was before they shot it tells you that the next script probably isn't going to get better. If you want my speculation on what's going to happen, I think they want to make this show, but I think if they have to reshoot another pilot, it's over. And I think the same people who approved this script back in February are still working there. And they're going to approve the next script. And so what I'm going to see, I guarantee what's going to happen is they're going to get canceled after this next pilot is put together. I think it's going to fail. Now, if the show does come out, do I think it's going to be successful? Of course it is. This negative publicity is only helping this series. And I think it's going to help the series take off. I think there's going to be a lot of people who watch it at first, ran about it, and be like, this sucks. And then after they ran about it for like a year, they're going to forget about it. And then the series is just going to end after one season because nobody liked it. Simple as that. I think this is something that is garbage. There's no way I have any faith in this. I think it's very easy to say that even though the show isn't finished, made, or put together, and may not ever be finished or made, that this show is bullshit. And no one should watch it.